Well, hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a good week and that you've been mulling over our discussion around Paul and the model that he set for all of us. It certainly left me with much to think about. I think recognizing that in the society we live in, that is increasingly a call for us to count the cost of faith, and that's not a small issue. It's not something we want to be light about, but I think it's important that we reckon with some of the challenging aspects of this book. We don't want to gloss over the things that can scare us or that give us pause. And so I'm going to keep praying that the Lord would speak to me and speak to you as you do that. But this week, we're into week 3, and we want to look a bit closer at this idea of mission and community going hand in hand for the effective establishment of our church. In the past, I've chatted a bit about this idea of a battleship versus a barge, and you'll remember both big boats on the barge. There's a crew, and they are doing a great job of looking after everyone on board. People are being well cared for, people are being well taught, but the boat stays tied up at the dock. It doesn't go anywhere. And everything that happens on the boat is really for the benefit of the people who are already on the boat. On the other hand, the battleship, there is still care. Those who are injured are recuperating below deck, but they do so to the sound of the guns blazing in the background. And there's still good teaching, but the teaching happens in the context of the fight. And so people know that after class, I'm heading straight back onto deck and I'm back in the action. And that is the kind of church we want to be. We want to be a church where mission gives a community purpose, and community makes a mission possible. As we reach people, as we are effective in mission, we bring people into our community, and that's where discipleship happens. Discipleship takes a long time, and it's hard, and it takes years, and so we want a healthy community to bring people into. We don't just want to be about the mission, we want to be about both. And so when we think about mission, what should we expect? How do we plan for it? How do we prepare for it? If we look at the story of Philippians, what does mission look like there? What's Paul's experience of mission as he and Timothy plant the Philippian church? And then similarly, we think about, if community is important to us, how do we establish a healthy community for the long term? What are the characteristics that we want to value? What is the foundation of longevity of that community? If community is important, and it is, then how do we do it well? How do we, from the get-go, establish good foundations for that community? And so we're looking at Philippians, and I think the Philippian story is quite interesting on both of these, particularly around mission, looking at Paul and Timothy's experience of that, and to some extent Paul's wider experience of mission. And so some of the readings are going to be in Acts when we look at Paul and Timothy's mission journey, and then some of the other readings are coming out of Philippians on some of the things that Paul specifically says about community and relationships and establishing good relationships. And so trust this will be beneficial to you. Trust that the Lord will speak to you. And I look forward to chatting more on Thursday. Have a great week.